What's good, y'all? This your boy Blak G 92. Now, before I say anything else, back at it yet again for the umpteenth time, but this time from Sunday to up to Tuesday, I'm just gonna crank out content. So hopefully those that do watch it. Let me know what you think of it, as well as sending more reaction requests so I could go ahead. So then I can build this channel up, further build it up to like get into that 25,000, which was the goal for this year. But you know, it's never ain't came around to it. But let's see what we can do for the last month of 2023, going to 2024. Same goal, but it's gonna be slightly tweaked. I ain't gonna slightly tweak. Yeah, that's gonna be slightly tweaked. It's gonna be like 100,000. So we're gonna do 100,000 subscribers this time, and plus I'm gonna think of all these different ideas. Make sure to improve the channel. Let me know in the comments as far as what you want to see of more of, which ones you like the most, what kind of reaction you like the most, and all that type of shit, which I might go into more detail in the live stream. As you can see, I'm just sipping on some Crown. What's the I think it's caramel mixed in with some Coke. But anyway, back to what I'm about to say. This evening, I'm going to do a reaction to The Critical Drinker. His latest video, The Marvels was doomed from the start. And I guess he's going to speak on the low box office sales. box office numbers of The Marvels, which debuted in theaters last Friday, which I did not see because I'm just burnt out on the MCU at this point. Is so much coming out, and what I've been seeing from online as well as trailers and clips, it just does seem like something I would even invest money into seeing. You know what I mean? Aside from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I missed out on that wave, but it's on Disney Plus, so I might check it out, as well as other other movies and shows I missed out on. So the other ones that suck ass, of course, I'm gonna check those out, see if I find anything redeemable about those train wrecks. Oh boy, plus not to mention hearing about how MCU is focusing on other things aside from writing good stories and improving on the villains. You know what I mean? So let's just go ahead and start this video in about 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
It's always interesting to watch the reaction in the entertainment media complex.
Yep.
Run smack bang into a reality so irrefutable that no amount of cope, doublethink, spin doctoring, or manipulative, and that's a good thing, articles can possibly obfuscate it.
Hell nah.
The court of box office opinion has rendered its verdict on The Marvels, and their judgment has been harsh and unanimous. This movie is officially a flop. In fact, calling The Marvels a flop is a bit like saying that Movie Bob has some questionable opinions about the human race.
Hold up.
What
the fuck?
Hold up. In fact, calling The Marvels a flop is a bit like saying that Movie Bob has...
Hold up. The worst thing about viruses, they really are morals. The funny thing about all these people, there are all these coffin fits in the streets, blah, 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 blah. It sounds random as fuck, and what I guess he's talking about. I don't know what the hell this guy's what Bob Chipman is talking about. Maybe he's talking about the the virus of unknown origins, but I don't know. But let's get this. I ain't gonna even dwell my brain on this shit. Let's go ahead and finish this video.
Questionable opinions about the human race. Yes, it's technically a true statement, but it doesn't really encompass the full magnitude of the problem.
Yep.
The movie recorded an embarrassing $47 million on its opening domestic weekend, by far the worst performance out of any Marvel movie ever.
Damn
man, even The Incredible Hulk managed to bring in $55 million, and that was 15 years ago.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, who could possibly have predicted this? Well, everyone, as it turns out. Everyone except the people who made the thing, apparently.
Yep.
No matter how you try to spin it.
You saw how Kevin Feige just standing there just trying to put on this big old cheesy smile. Just more so like forced smile for the camera and such. Just thinking, oh, we made the best movie ever. That's gonna blow out people's socks. The best film of 2023 went. Oh boy. I figured it was gonna like flop because no one really gave a shit about, or more so two shits about Captain Marvel, because people was looking forward to like Avengers Endgame, and like I said, no one cared about Captain Marvel like that. More so Carol Danvers' iteration of the character in the film, that is. So Yeah, that's the main reason people didn't really turn out for the Marvels. And plus of shows with I'm not sure about Miss Marvel's reception. I might have to double check that, but let's go ahead and finish watching the video.
The movie has been an unmitigated disaster, and now that it's impossible to lie their way out of that fact, the focus has shifted instead on finding a politically acceptable explanation that allows the studio to save face. It wasn't a bad movie, you see. The real problem was the actors' strike preventing stars from promoting it. Really, whenever Brie Larson opens her mouth to talk about Captain Marvel, she's an instant hit with audiences.
Tom Cruise, I mean?
No, I want to be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Wow, yeah.
And
what a
one
bitch.
Thing we can all agree on, it's that scripted, corporate-approved puff piece interviews on late-night talk shows are where every thinking man goes to form their opinions about the latest film releases. About superhero fatigue. That's a reliable excuse that can get conveniently wheeled out whenever a film flops. Marvel have just been putting out too many hits in recent years, proving the point that you really can have too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for your shitty movie. Sexism and misogyny. All of those toxic man-babies out there just couldn't stomach the idea of a female-led movie and had to pummel it into the ground lest other humans of a female persuasion start getting dangerous ideas that they can do things for themselves.
Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. Everything is homophobic. And you have to point it all out.
Miss Silence, keep your full tongue behind your teeth.
It's mostly bullshit, of course, and
Yep.
it either ignores or misrepresents the multitude of actual reasons why this movie was practically doomed from the start. Hey, if the access media aren't interested in calling it like it is, then I guess the drinker will have to step in and do their job for them.
Let's get it.
Strap in as I break down the real reasons why the Marvels flopped. 1, it's part of a dying brand. You
Yep.
don't need me to tell you that the MCU has been in decline for several years now, partly caused by a meandering, fragmented, and unengaging narrative that doesn't really feel like it knows where it's going, or that it's building towards anything, and partly because of a sharp decline in the quality of their movies. Marvel suffered a series of embarrassing flops and underperformers over the past 3 years, meaning there's less and less incentive to go see them. Yeah, superhero fatigue is a thing that's starting to cut into the box office, but more specifically, what they're facing here is Marvel fatigue. There's too much content, and it's mostly shit. And as a result,
Yeah. Way too much shitty content and such, and plus people gonna stop really paying attention to it. And be real with y'all, the last Marvel MCU movie I watched was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that was it. And I did watch maybe 2-3 episodes of Moonlight. I plan on probably finishing watching that, which was cool. And I did watch Black Widow, which I might save for a live stream to go more in detail about how my opinions on it. Let's go ahead and finish watching it because I don't want it to be up for too
souring
long.
people on the entire brand. 2, there's no big names attached to it. Harsh as this may sound, none of the actors in this movie are the kind of box office draws that a film like this desperately needs to generate buzz. Iman Vellani, Zawe Ashton, and Teyonah Parris are all fucking nobodies. Brie
Nope.
Larson's only high-profile role was in the first Captain Marvel 4 years earlier, and at this point, even Samuel Jackson isn't all that exciting, partly because he seems determined to appear in every single movie getting made, so his presence isn't exactly a big event anymore.
Nah.
Partly because nobody cares about his character now. Nick Fury's been gradually broken down and deconstructed in recent years to the point where the coolest character in the MCU, played by the coolest actor in Hollywood, feels more like a fat, embarrassing middle-aged dad trying to hang with his son's friends. Which brings me along to my next point. Number 3, there's no popular characters. The movie features a trio of female superheroes at its core, 2 of which have only appeared in obscure Disney Plus shows, and a third which was never popular in the first place and
At
has
all.
barely been seen in over 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah, I know there's still a few die-hard Marvel NPCs out there who will literally defend anything shat out by the MCU.
Oh,
and just
yeah,
love to
they're
point
out there.
That the first Captain Marvel made over $1 billion at a time when every fucking Marvel movie was making $1 billion. In reality, though, it was the most protected movie in history.
It was.
The review scores were carefully managed to give it the most positive rating possible, and it was released under the most favourable market conditions that have ever existed.
Facts.
Conveniently sandwiched between two of the biggest films in the entire MCU, when excitement for the brand was at a fever pitch.
It
With
was.
a marketing campaign that somehow managed to convince everyone that it was going to be an event movie on the same level as Infinity War and Endgame. Put simply, it wasn't. But by the
It
time
wasn't at
everyone
all.
realised that fact, it was too late and the movie had made bank. Either way, the point is that nobody was particularly invested in Captain Marvel as a character, mainly because she didn't really have one. She was a perfect example of what Gary likes to call the hero's journey, a wish fulfillment power fantasy that starts out strong and awesome, is liked by almost everyone, wins at everything to become even stronger and more awesome, and eventually realises that the only thing holding her back from god tier level of awesomeness is the rest of the world failing to accept how amazing she is. I mean, really, is it any wonder that people didn't connect with a character like that? And the thing is, she's not exactly alone either, which brings me neatly on to number 4, the
MCU.
After disposing of Ike Perlmutter, who was basically the only...
I'm not the biggest fan of the term, but hey, it does fit where it's used. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like a buzz term, like every other word that's being used. But where it fits, it's gonna fit though. I mean, if depends how I use it, of course. I guess he's gonna give his take on it. I'm sure it's gonna be well researched, thought out, articulated, like he normally does. Let's get to it.
thing keeping the MCU on track. One of Kevin Feige's stated objectives was to introduce more female characters into the MCU. In fact, he wanted more than 50% of Marvel heroes to be female. Now, a smart writer could have found ways to gradually introduce cool, interesting, well-rounded female characters to complement rather than undermine the existing male heroes.
Yeah.
You know, proving the point that both men and women are pretty awesome in their own ways, and that when they work together instead of against each other, great things can happen. The writers at Marvel were not smart, however.
At all.
Instead, what we ended up with was a relentless deluge of smug, generic, overpowered, patronising boss bitches that the scripts were painfully eager to depict as smarter, stronger, more capable, more righteous, more assertive than the dumb, timid, outdated imposters now wearing our favourite heroes like skin suits. They usually excelled in traditionally male-dominated fields like science, technology, aerospace, and engineering. They were often completely self-taught, and of course, they never needed help from a man. And by God, Marvel really went all in with this one. If a movie...
Yeah, they really did. They really went all out with that shit, especially with She-Hulk. Because I watched, like, what's his name? Jay Longbone's review of it, like, the different episodes that she posted, reacted to it, and holy shit, like, She-Hulk was just a dumpster fire.
happened to have a male lead, you could basically guarantee there would be at least 2 or 3 of these strong female supporting characters hovering around him, making fun of his grandiose posturing and consistently outperforming him in every possible way.
Yep.
On the other hand, if the movie was female-led, then the favour was absolutely never returned, because of course, that door only ever swings one way. And
Yep.
while this isn't a very diplomatic way of putting it, fuck me, that shit became real old real fast.
Yes.
The resulting oversaturation of poorly written, superficially strong but fundamentally unlikable female characters was soon mockingly labelled the MCU, and the result was a gradual souring of audiences towards any new female characters. People just didn't trust them anymore because they knew exactly what they'd be getting when one of them showed up. Just another smug feminist power fantasy here to put men in their place and pander to the female demographic. And really, Captain Marvel pretty much set the tone for the MCU before it was even a thing. She was the quintessential Marvel girl boss, always strong, always being told how great she is, never vulnerable, weak or flawed, and ultimately so physically powerful that she was practically unusable as a hero because nothing could threaten her. After 4 years of being beaten over the head by the insufferable girl boss archetype, it's no wonder the audiences were less than excited to go see a movie built around 3 of the fucking things. Number 5. It sucks.
Simply as that. Simple
I don't think
simple
that
answer.
point requires much elaboration.
Nah,
The Marvels
it don't.
is basically a shit film with a bland, formulaic story that feels like it was written by a retarded AI. Characters with nonsensical motivations, apathetic performances, crappy editing, visual effects, and absolutely no heart or passion. In short, The Marvels was basically always going to fail because most of the conditions that set the original movie up to succeed were now working against it. And it does make me wonder if this film might represent a turning point of sorts, an end to the bloated, predictable excesses of a studio that once believed it could do no wrong, an end to the tired, predictable girl boss trope that's blighted so many people's enjoyment of the MCU, and in a larger sense, an end to the reign of the big budget superhero movie. Next year is going to be a quiet one for Marvel, with only a single movie penciled in for release, and it does make me wonder if they'll use this lull in production to rethink their creative direction. Time will tell, but something tells me the failure of the Marvels is something they won't forget in a hurry. Now, just before I fuck off to drink myself into oblivion again, I wanted to remind you that my shiny new Critical Drinker merch store is now up and running and accepting orders. I figured it was about time to turn this stuff over to artists and designers who actually knew what they were doing, and they've already produced some kick-ass designs that look miles better than anything that was available before. So if you're interested in taking a look, I'll leave a link in the description.
I might.
That's all I've got for today.
Go away now. And shit, Drinker delivered another great video, man, talking about the Marvels, listing all the different things of what worked against it. And like the fifth reason was just simple as that. I haven't seen the movie myself, but wouldn't surprise me if it sucked ass. Like most of the other stuff that came out the past maybe 2-3 years. I say, yeah, maybe 4 years if you think about it. I mean, I say 3 years. I shouldn't say 4 years because yeah, it was still at the peak of its popularity back then when Endgame came out. Even that one had some problems in there, but you know, that could be overlooked by some of the awesome action fight scenes and shit. And plus, it was the finale of a franchise and universe that was built up to that point. So hopefully with the new year, with the next following year, 2024, with Deadpool 3, they could just take time to just think about what the next course of action would be for the MCU instead of just cranking out a bunch of content. And hopefully keep the R rating for Deadpool because that's where it shines the most. And of course, not the franchise, but more so the source material for Deadpool is meant to be R-rated and such, so don't distill any of the humor that made the first two movies amazing. So hopefully they continue that momentum with Deadpool 3 as well as they had with Logan. Well, obviously not in the same light as Logan, because Deadpool is a whole different universe, and of course it's gonna have Wolverine in it, so it's gonna be different. Of course, it's gonna be different than Logan. So I don't know what's gonna be on the timeline because it's part of MCU now, so we just have to wait and see. Let's see what people say in the comments. I could threaten her is completely right. Filming so many fight scenes where the villains aren't threats or heroes. They bandage very powerful high tech villains at the stun more dangerous Scooby-Doo cartoons. Oh boy. Yeah. Now I'm gonna save my comments for not comments, but my comments for a future live stream, which I might do so after this reaction. If you want to watch more of these reactions or want me to do another reaction based on Critical Drinker videos, post them in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that notification button, hit that subscribe button as well. Hit that. And also be sure to click on the links that I post in the description box below for my social media accounts and the donation link to my Cash App. If you want to support your boy on this channel. This is your boy Blak G92, about to sign off. Holla at your boy. Peace.